Right, I think it is 11 o'clock, so we should probably get going. So the main event this week is talking to a panel of private equity managers. So we've got three from CT Private Equity, from Oakley Capital Investments, and from Patcher Private Equity. So the idea of this is really to give you more of an insight into how these funds work and what these managers are doing. So if you've got any questions at all about how private equity works, please do put these into the chat box in the YouTube chat box function. So before we get there, as usual, we've got some news. It being the bank holiday week, really, there's really very little going on. So I'll probably rattle through this quite quickly. But two things I did pull out. First thing is Octopus Renewables infrastructure. Very familiar chart that we've seen in all of these renewable funds where everything seems to be going okay until interest rates start going up in 2022, and then the share price falls off quite quickly. And then we've seen this steady attrition of the NAV that we talked about last week, which is a lot of it's due to power prices. More recently, the discount has stabilized a bit, but the yield is still very high and the discount is still too wide. And this is obviously part of what we're talking about today. So the main thing that they've done this week is announced a fee cut. So this is, again, is not unusual. Other funds in the sector have done this already. So they're moving from a situation where the fees are based solely on NAV to basing them on a mix of NAV and market cap, about half and half in this case. And the way that they structured this, and one thing we pointed out very early when people did this was they would, if you went back to a premium, then you end up paying more. And obviously that's not really the intention of the thing. So this is definitely stated it's capped at NAV. So it doesn't kick in until November, but when it does, if nothing else changed, they currently save about £700,000 a year on the management fees, which obviously goes into the pot that's available for dividends, which is all good news. And they're also trying to narrow the discount using buybacks. So they've bought back over 5% of the company so far. The share price is about 70p, so that we're not getting towards the £30 million share buyback total yet. I think when we do that, we could see them sell something else, extend that buyback program. I don't think we would be done at that point. Warehouse REIT is, it's one of these ones that's been bid for, and that's why the share price goes rocketing up there. And it's been a sort of a bit of a tussle between Tritax and Blackstone. And Tritax said on Friday last week, we didn't pick it up for the show, but because I think it happened afterwards, but they said they wouldn't put up in their offer anymore. So the takeover panel were going to organise an auction between the two, and they cancelled that. And then by the end of the day, Blackstone was saying, we've got over 30% of Warehouse REIT now signed up for this, for our 113.4p a share bid. And that means it's now mandatory. So when it's mandatory, that doesn't mean you have to sell. That means they have to make the bid because they've gone over 30%. Tritax formally terminated his offer on the 27th of August. And now the Blackstone bidding vehicle has gone up to 35.6%. We talked about this similar situation with Primary Healthcare Properties and Assura. So this offer stays open now. It's open until 1 o'clock on the 10th of September. If nobody else accepts the offer, then it just stays with them being a big shareholder. And they won't be able to increase that without making another bid, but that's very unlikely. If they get through 75%, then they will delist it. So you'd end up being a minority investor in an unlisted company, which is probably not what you want to do. And then when they get to 90%, they'd probably be able to do the compulsory purchase. That means they end up owning 100. There was supposed to be an AGM next week on Tuesday. That's now being delayed to the end of the month to give Blackstone really time to get all this done. So it does look like it's going to disappear, unfortunately. We were hoping that Tritax would win and those assets would still be available for you to invest in, but that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So that's all from me.